Hey there, I'm Marianne with my sister and me Ministries, and I welcome you to this week's Face to Face Friday. Jen and I continue our series called Hands and Feet. And throughout this series, we're going to be exploring different ways we can be the hands and feet of Jesus as a result of our faith, as an expression or an outpouring of what we believe. See, faith requires action, and we can believe, but if we don't do anything, do we really believe? So we're excited about this series, and this week we are looking at a passage of scripture from Acts chapter 2. Before we jump into that, I want to share a personal experience my husband and I had years ago. We were so closely knit together with our church family and enjoyed fellowship and the support and the camaraderie that we had with one another that we would have these make-believe brainstorms. Well, the brainstorms were real. We brainstormed about this make-believe land where we would buy some acreage and each of us build our individual homes, but we'd be in such close proximity that we would be a help to one another, where one may thrive in gardening and they share their bounty, and another may have the gift of caring for young children and have the time to do that. And so somebody could assist with childcare and someone else with the gardening and lawn mowing, lawnscaping rather. So anyway, this make-believe land where we would live close together in proximity and be a help to one another, depending on the different gifts and strengths and graces that each of us had occupied within us, our God-given gifts, and share that within our community. Some may say that sounds like a cult. Well, maybe it does. But even within families, we have seen that occur, families living nearby and being a support and a help to one another. So that really isn't far-fetched. It actually is scripture-based. Psalm 133 verse 1, that psalm opens with how good and pleasant it is when people live together in harmony. And when we turn to Acts chapter 2, verses 44 through 47, the passage says, "Now all the believers were together and held all things in common. They sold their possessions and property and distributed the proceeds to all, as anyone had a need. Every day they devoted themselves to meeting together in the temple complex and broke bread from house to house. They ate their food with a joyful and humble attitude, praising God and having favor with all the people. And every day the Lord added to them those who were being saved." So the church was growing, and they were not just fellowshipping, but they were eating together. I'm sure they were preparing meals together. They lived in community with one another. And this was a demonstration of their faith because they sold everything they had and put it all together in a pot and shared among those in the church so that there was not one single person or family left in need. It's a beautiful picture. As we read further in Acts chapter 4, verses 34 and 35 say this, "For there was not a needy person among them, because all those who owned lands or houses sold them, brought the proceeds of the things that were sold, and laid them at the apostles' feet. This was then distributed for each person's basic needs." So the overflow and the excess, it provided for the basic needs of all. It may be an imaginary land that I'm thinking of. Wouldn't it be wonderful if this could actually occur? But in this day and age, 2025, to me, it presents this challenge. What in my possessions, what do I own? What do I have that I can sell or donate to contribute to and help those who may be in need? What can I give up? How can I help my community? Whether that be my church, those who do believe in my community, even those who do not believe. How much more can we win those to Christ but by supplying and helping with the needs of the people? You think, what are the basic needs of people? Food, water, shelter. I would even say medical, emotional, mental, spiritual support. All of us have those needs. Every single person in our neighborhood, in our community. So it's a challenge to me this week, and I hope to you. What can I donate? What can I give? What can I do? Is there a neighbor whose lawn I can mow? School's getting ready to start. Is there a young mom who may need assistance with getting kids to or from the bus stop? What are some real physical, simple things that we can do? Do you have food stored up, water stored up that you can donate? I know some people put together little care packages and keep them in their car, and when they come across somebody at a street corner who is in need, they're able to just give that out. Maybe there's a food pantry you can volunteer at, or a community center you can help with, a Boys and Girls Club. There are so many opportunities where we can reach out and help others. Perhaps it's a nursing home or an elder care center, or maybe you have an elderly neighbor who may need assistance with meals, or just somebody to check in on, or even just somebody to talk to. The gift of our time, the gift of our ability, it's an expression of our faith. We're not doing it for the accolades of people, but as we love God and as we love people, we are called to be the very hands and feet of Jesus to those in our communities, not just our churches, but throughout our communities. In 1 John chapter 3, verse 17, the passage says this: "If anyone has this world's goods and sees his brother in need, but closes his eyes to his need, how can God's love reside in him?" That's a big wake-up call. Does the love of God reside in you? When you see somebody in need, are you willing to help if you're able? The willingness is the expression of God's love. The obedience is the fulfillment of his love. What can you give? What can you do? How can you serve? How can you be the hands and feet of Jesus to those in need around you? That's our challenge this week, to be that love of God in action, love in action, as we seek and serve Christ, loving our neighbor as ourselves. We hope you take this challenge this week, and if you feel like it, share with us on social media something that you've done to express your faith by serving and helping those in need this week. We'd love to hear your feedback, your success stories, your brainstorms, and how to help. It will trigger and ignite that passion and excitement and so many more. Share that love with those in need, but share it with our community so that we can also be encouraged in faith, in hope, in service to God as we love one another. Ladies, until we meet again, we thank you for joining us, and as always, we encourage you to hold fast to hope. See you later.